This is London calling in the overseas service of the British Broadcasting Corporation.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
The pocket battleship, Graf Spee, which has been for many weeks preying upon the trade of the South Atlantic, has met her doom.
Mother dear, I'm writing you from somewhere in France, hoping this finds you well.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall never surrender.
Hang up the washing on the Siegfried line, 'cause the washing day is here. Whether the weather may be wet or fine, we'll just love along.
Das Oberkommando der Wehrmacht gibt bekannt. Ein im Atlantik operierender deutscher Flottenverband unter Führung des Flottenchefs Admiral Lütjen im Seegebiet um Island auf schwere englische Seestreitkräfte. Das Schlachtschiff Bismarck hat hierbei einen englischen Schlachtkreuzer, wahrscheinlich Hood, vernichtet.
The sinking of the Bismarck was due to the cooperation of the RAF with the Navy. And Rodney, which did some pretty work with her 16-inch guns.
This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. But it is perhaps the end of the beginning. But the Japanese High Command had declared that a state of war existed with Great Britain and the United States.
The German Navy, so proudly built up by that smug strategical genius, the Führer, is slowly but surely being wiped out. Now the Scharnhorst, the 26,000-ton battleship, has gone to the bottom, a not unusual result of action against the Royal Navy.
Led by a powerful British escort, the main body of the surrendered Italian fleet is transferred from Malta to Alexandria.
Signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied Expeditionary Force.
Back across the China Sea for the last large-scale surrender at Hong Kong, where today warships of the Royal Navy ride at anchor in the harbor.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Gareth Major, and this is Back to the Port, and obviously we're all here for these patch notes, which I hope is alright. My webcam could do a little bit of a tweak, I guess, so we'll just do a little bit of that while we're just sorting things out. Hopefully that's alright. Right, so hello. So hello, Jets fan, who's only interested in the Perth. Zuma is also interested in the Perth. Baker Jones is going to give this patch a pass. He's going to be focusing on Modern Warfare 2. Not quite sure what 2K23 is, but another game. Ryan Chang is also stating that Overwatch is coming out next week, and it's interesting that Overwatch is changing from the standard AAA game model to the wargaming style of free-to-play model, and my response there is money. Good evening, Vaz. Campaign is a hard pass for yourself. Can't blame you too much, sir. But you are interested in the requirements for the Perth. Me too. Hopefully she's not too grindy. I think we'll just have to take our experiences from the Blaireathon and other such ships from previously. Melissa, the bias is ridiculous now. The bias is strong. Yeah, let's be honest, yes. Hello, Sean. Hello. Had a good trip. Yeah. Nice, relaxing trip in Cornwall. No Wales Week this week because obviously we're streaming today, covering the patch notes. So it kind of feels a little bit not pointless, but a little bit undue to do a Wales Week on the patch notes week, I guess you could say. But yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to Perth, and I don't blame you. She does look quite nice. Hello. Zulkalu Adventures, and also hello Amal Criv as well. Hello, and the wife who is sat downstairs. I haven't booted her out of my office. This is my office. Yes, this is my home office. So this is probably the once every 5 weeks that you do get to see it. Anyway, what we're going to do, I'm going to unmute the desktop to start with, and we'll go through and watch the trailer. So I'll get rid of all the stuff in the background. And as we're going through the trailer, if there's anything that I believe is of interest, I'll try and pause it and bring it up. We'll do that, and then after that we'll go through the patch notes. Hopefully I'm coming all through loud and clear, and this week, or this time, we're trying not to have an overdose of jazz like we did last time. Anyway, let's get that sorted so I can I'll make the logos disappear, I'll make myself disappear, we'll maximise this, I'll unmute the desktop. I'm only going through this, saying it out loud, just to make sure that I actually remember. Hopefully this comes through loud and clear for you.
The most chilling update of the year is waiting for you, Captains. Let's check out what treats are in store. No Halloween is good, or rather bad enough without Rasputin, huh? He's back again, and you need to save Transylvania.
So this looks to be almost the same Halloween mode that we had last year, where basically the Transylvania comes through a gate and then is moving away from the gate, and then Rasputin and the vile scum, I guess you could say, come through, and you have to obviously protect the Transylvania, but also you have to defend multiple towers, which also are destroying the gate, I guess you could say. I think there's also like a fog cloud which hurts ships and things like that as well. Oh, hello Andy Mack as well. Good to see you.
And the world. The Halloween event will be held from October 17th until November 3rd and will feature various prizes, including the biggest one, Commonwealth Tier 5 Premium Cruiser
So, Perth, a Amphion class cruiser, also known as a modified Leander class cruiser, looks to be very interesting, and we'll cover her in more detail later on when we're looking through the patch notes.
Earth. German alternate battleships fully available. With the arrival of powerful Tier 8 Prinz Ruprecht, the new alternate tech tree line of German battle cruisers is open for research. Go get them for enhanced secondaries, torpedoes, and special damage control party. Another monster approaches. This time, it's Soviet Tier 8 Premium Cruiser
Now, a nice way to maybe try and summarise the Kronstadt, I guess you could say, is potentially a slightly worse Stalingrad with no anti-aircraft protection, I guess you could say. She is going to be delicious carrier food.
With her heavy guns and huge HP pool, ready to smash foes is the headliner of the Fortress campaign. Beat the campaign with 100 milestones in 5 weeks with catch-up enabled, and get the ship with Admiralty backing active.
The way he says catch-up, it almost does sound like with ketchup enabled. Just a little change of phrase there.
another humongous addition to the ranks of legendary ships, French battleship Bourgogne.
I like the way that everything that is coming to the game is humongous or grand. Can't they just call it what it is and just say an average ship is coming to the game?
Arrives as a bureau project. Pick it up for her main battery reload booster and engine boost, which further highlight Bourgogne as the fastest battleship at the tier. Be brave this Halloween and turn the spooky tide.
So generally from the trailer, there's not exactly a lot to take away. It basically just covers the key points of the patch, which is fair enough. I mean, we don't normally expect a trailer to do more. Sometimes trailers do more, but yeah, there's just not a lot of information there. But that is just unfortunately the way it is. So I will now mute the desktop. I can then bring back the camera, bring back the logos, and we can start going through the patch notes. I'll just disconnect my headset, and now we can have some of that jazz. Now this time, fingers crossed, we don't overdo it. So, chat, please confirm the jazz is not too loud. I don't want to do it again. I'm just double checking, everything seems to be fine. Right, I'm just going to catch up with the chat very quickly. Andy Mack congratulating Apple Criv on his basically his clip of the week. I mean, once we get to the end of this, maybe we'll bring it up and have a watch. Crunch style looks interesting in my opinion. Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. We'll have a deeper dive as we go through. Apple Criv, a special damage control party. Try that and portion them out. Yeah, a very limited number of damage control parties on the German battlecruisers. Azuma, I honestly think it could be coming after Kronstadt. Possibly very true. Right, so let's start scrolling down through these. I'm not seeing any too loud jazz or anything like that, so I hope I've got the volume right. Ark Royal Major, yes, don't worry. She's coming on the 17th, I believe. And hello, Stuart. Hello. Right, so before I start going through the patch notes, down in the description is a link to the patch notes if you want to read them as we go along or look at them yourselves. Furthermore, also down in the description is the redeem code which is hidden within the patch notes, which will give you some rust bucket camos and a common container, along with a link to the redeemer also down in the description, so it's nice and copy and pasteable, making your lives as easy as possible because Wargaming haven't. Hello, Ghost Pilot as well. No new Halloween commanders, that's very disappointing. Very disappointing, but also highly expected, judging by the way that they've actually reduced introduction of new commanders to the game and started to focus more on cosmetic guises and charging you the same. No Royal Navy Tier 8 again. Yeah, no, I'm with you with that one. It's going to be another 5 weeks of me not playing Tier 8 because I refuse to play Tier 8 unless I have a Royal Navy ship. I featured in Vaz's livestream on Monday and I basically refused to play Tier 8. Anyway, onto this patch. So this patch is dropping on the 3rd of October. And it's dropping between 7 AM and 10 AM UTC. Patch size is a bit give and take. This is quite interesting. PlayStation 5 is only 1.75 gig. PlayStation 4 3.1 gig. Xbox, both sets of consoles, I guess you could say, we are looking at a 3.7 gig patch, which is quite interesting. I hope you don't mind. I have got a nice hot chocolate just to keep me warm and give me a bit of energy as we go through. In my nice HMS Hood cup. So, they do a quick bit of a summary here. Another Return of Rasputin, Fortress campaign with the Kronstadt, German alternative battleships become fully researchable, French legendary battleships, and more, of course. That more is mostly buffs and nerfs, I guess you could say, along with other premium ships, which do include the Ark Royal. Now, that piano's a bit loud. There we go. There we go. So regarding the redeem code, there it is. So obviously Wargaming did not want to make it easy for you to copy and paste, and so I've gone and done that for you down in the description. It will give you 5 rust bucket cameras and 1 common container. So A Light in the Dark returns anew. So we have 3 Commander Guises. I don't think there's any details on them, which is quite interesting. But yeah, so the Rasputin is back again from October the 17th through to November the 7th. Participating in the event will acquire select store bundles and will net you an ancient shards. Basically, we're collecting shards again. Once you collect enough shards, you'll probably then be able to buy the Perth. Now, how they distribute how many you can earn and how much the Perth is and things like that, it all depends how grindy they're going to make it. I bet there will be some way of monetization, I guess you could say, in which you'll be able to bypass this event and purchase shards in order to purchase the Perth. It's wargaming. We know how much they love monetization. So, basically, 3 themed guises, so you offer some dress of Halloween. New crates, we'll take a look at those shortly. Biggest prize, the Commonwealth Cruiser Perth. Read the new ships update later on to find out more about her, not about how we're actually going to get her, which is quite interesting. Oh, not interesting, but a bit irritating, I guess you could say. If you manage to complete the scenario on the highest difficulty, you'll get the Japanese Tier 3 premium battleship Kawachi, and we'll also take a look at Kawachi later on. So let's take a look at the reading, not the reading codes, the container drop rates. So once the internet decides it's going to work, we can scroll back up to the top. So this is what the Halloween 2022 container is going to look like. It's basically a prism, I guess you could say. Now let's expand this. Now, so the largest prize is obviously Halloween. 21 camos. I'm not sure if that's a typo or whether they really couldn't be bothered to make a new camouflage for 2022. It's potentially they didn't bother, I guess you could say. 7 promotional orders, 20,000 global XP, 7 days premium count. That's all probably quite easy, like quite frequent drops, I guess you could say. Then it starts to go down. 15 promotional orders, 1 insignia and 1 commendation, and now we're on to camouflages. So permanent camouflages available for these ships, which will be featuring in the Halloween event. Now, the ships chosen this year do differ. So we have the Iowa, the Hipper, the Xingyang, and the Furus. So those will be the ships which will be featuring in this year's Halloween event. Also, the camouflages from the previous events. I better just double check in with what's going on here. Jazz is a bit loud. No worries. We'll turn the piano down a little bit. Thanks, Griff. Continuing on. There we are. Continuing on, the camouflages from previous years are also featuring. We have Bismarck, Charles Patel, Shikuku, Benson, and the Megami. Now, there is also the chance to get the Ark Royal and a related mission. Most likely this would be as per some of the recent premium ships which have been given away for free. You get the ship and a mission, but you don't get the ship. You get a mission, I think, and then the mission unlocks the ship. However, maybe there's more. Maybe there's more here. Let's have a look. If you already own a ship, the skin basically be removed, so there's no repeat drops. All skins are going to be grade 4, so they're going to be fully upgraded, which is quite nice. So maybe it would be nice to have a bit more clarity on the Ark Royal mission. Is the mission something that comes alongside the Ark Royal, which gives you maybe doubloons or something like that? Or is it a mission to unlock the Ark Royal? Sure, saying haven't played Tier 8 till the Brits turn up, enjoying the Plymouth though. Yeah, no, I've only given the Plymouth a single spin, and yeah, no, she's quite nice. I've been focusing on other things when it comes to Legends, mostly things with high explosive, I guess you could say. Azuma, I just want to give a heads up about the new Commonwealth Commander by saying we Aussies pronounce Frankum as Farkum. Okay, fine. Okay. I'll try not to mess that one up. We have a new commander for Perth. Commonwealth already has more usable commanders than the Pan-Asian for Harangi. Very true. Piano is a bit slightly loud now. Apologies for that. Hopefully, yeah, I did think the piano might be a little bit loud. I've got to try and find a nice volume, I guess you say. Looks like Wargaming have forgotten about Pan-Asia Curve. Laugh out loud. Melissa, I'm seriously thinking about installing the Legends. I'm sick of the bias. I think the bias is going to be here to stay. The reason being is it's the market that buys stuff. It's irritating. I've just got my fingers crossed that eventually there will be some more British content in the future, especially with British battle cruisers. There's quite a few of them at the moment. No, sure, it'd be very grindy, I bet, just to sell my soul first, to put the first time in. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Ark Royal 0.5% hidden text, when you already spent 10k dubs on crates. Right, we can close down the stats, and we can move on to talking about the campaign. So there's the crunch style, that's the picture for it, which is reasonable, I guess. Although this almost looks like the kind of picture with background where you could almost plonk any ship into that gap. I guess you could say. Anyway, they do talk about the crunch down. Basically, they're trying to prove that it's actually not just a on the back of a fag packet Russian design. Oh no, not another one. No, it's Project 69. I mean, I'm sure they managed to find some immature teenager to snicker at that, I guess you could say. She's a battle cruiser from the late 1930s, which is quite interesting to think that as the Americans and the British had moved on to building fast battleships, the Russians were still going, "Ooh, we need a battle cruiser." So I think the nice bit about this, it shows how far behind Russia was in their concept, I guess you could say, and thinking about what they want. I catch up with that in a second. Now, obviously, Soviet leadership deemed such a ship obsolete. Okay, so they finally caught up. Not after they wasted time designing it enough for wargaming to decide they need to pick up. Anyway, she obviously has radar consumable. She's arriving in the cruiser slot, I believe, as well. Now, she has a 25% torpedo reduction, which I doubt is historical. She has a very big health pool. The biggest, in fact. But probably by like 1 or 2 HP. Most powerful guns. I mean, part of me just thinks they're just making it up. The biggest HP, most powerful guns, best torpedo reduction. Like, oh. Yeah, they don't mention the armour though, do they? that's my worry. Yeah, we can't call her agile. And she's slow. She's probably slow, she's probably big, she's probably badly armoured, maybe. Well, we'll take a bit more of a look into her. How about now? Let's take a look into her now. So I'll bring up the crunch down as a beautiful picture for you while I look at World of Warships PC, and I bring up the pros and cons. But I'll just quickly catch up with the chat. Azuma, to be honest, I want another legendary German ship because we only have the one, the Gross Curvers. Yep, no, I completely agree. To be honest, I don't. Legendary tier is just rotting away, I guess you say. Stuart, I've been trying Megatron on my German cruisers. Fair enough. And also, good to see you, Stuart. Good to see you. Griff, what's the background you can sell every... is that a ferret? Yeah, that's the I don't know, ferret or weasel. Project 69 wink. Yeah. With that background, you could sell every turd. Yeah, no, very true, very true. If I want USA shove down my throat, I would immigrate to Texas and rap. Oh, I'm gonna allow that, Melissa. I'm gonna wait, no, damn, I clicked the wrong one. Right. Melissa, I might have to save that one for Wales Weekly. Bear with. let me put that aside for Wales Weekly. That was a good one. Right. Ah, damn, I clicked the wrong one. Right. I'm still wondering why Russia has so many ships, but the Royal Navy is pretty much nothing. Russian bias, yeah, straight up. Melissa, you're right. Russian bias. I'm quick. Does Kronsdale receive the nuclear engine as well, like the PC counterparts? 320k horsepower, but in reality, when in reality 240k is the max so far for a nuclear power, and that's on the Nimitz class circa. Yeah, the wargaming and the levels of fantasy is a bit ridiculous at times. It's called World of Warships, not World of Fantasy Warships, and sometimes I wish they would remember that. Anyway, pros and cons of the Kronstadt. Over on PC, she has obviously a very large hit point pool for a cruiser, equivalent to most tier 9, basically tier below battleship, I think. No, same tier battleship. So let's see, over on PC she has 71,050 hit points. Okay, fair enough. She has a strong main battery armament, which poses a threat to any ship she faces, apparently. So let's see. So she's got 305mm guns in 3 triple gun turrets, with reload of 18.5 seconds. Range, obviously range is a bit subject to change, I guess you could say. 24% fire chance. Very hard hitting AP. Okay, that's interesting. Capable of mounting useful consumables, which allow the ship to fill a variety of roles, and one of those consumables has been confirmed to be radar. She apparently has decent armor when angled. When angled, so it does make you wonder what her bow armor is. So maybe that's going to be her weak point. Downsides: extremely susceptible to receiving citadel hits when improperly angled or when bow on to high tier battleships. So yeah, she's got a very weak bow and potentially a slightly exposed citadel up front. So almost like with the potentially. I think you can see the armor about there and it drops off, so probably this bit is all squidgy, and if you can punch in there you're going to get the citadel, which could be quite interesting. Dispersion and reload time may leave captains unimpressed. Furthermore, she has a mediocre anti-aircraft armament and will not deter a dedicated strike from a high tier carrier. So she is going to be tier 7 and legendary tier carrier food, I guess you could say. So that's the Kronstadt over on PC. Obviously, what will happen over on World of Warships Legends may differ, but it's always worth taking a look over there and seeing what they have, because it sometimes impacts what we have. Sean, do you think a legendary tier will go on the back burner now there is tier 8? They can make money from tier 8s? I don't know. I really don't know. At the moment, the Bureau and Legendary tier, I think, are just... they're lost causes. They're pointless introductions to the game, I almost feel. I kind of don't get why we still have it. And at some point, I would not be surprised if the Bureau is scrapped and Legendary tier is bolted onto the end of the tech trees. Because it just doesn't make sense the way that you can get the end tier ship in the game for nothing, whereas you have to grind to get an uneventful tier 8, which is going to be matched against these free ships and is going to be worse. I just don't understand it, in all honesty, and I kind of just wish that Wargaming would sit down and just go, look, we messed up, Bureau's going to go, Legendary tier is going on the end of the tech tree. Just do it. Just put the Bureau out of its misery, please. That's my honest opinion. Anyway, on to the campaign. So we have the Fortress campaign, which is 100 milestones with 5 weeks and a catch-up mechanic enabled. Now, we do have all these lovely prizes and stuff. So, as you can see, now without empty backing, you're going to begin, let's focus on the good stuff. 14 promotional orders, 1 insignia, 1 commendation, 8 days premium, some patches and backgrounds, some other bits and bobs. But one interesting one is the 2 hot-to-handle camouflages. I've heard that these are quite desirable at the moment. The reason being is because they're very hard to get hold of. Now, with anti-backing, which is remaining at 2,500 doubloons, you'll be able to get an additional, let's look at the good stuff, 26 promotional orders, 3 insignias, 3 accommodations, 750 doubloons, and 22 too hot to handle camouflages. Fair enough. There's no crates there, which is intriguing. Now, total value with anti-backing is 73,263. So, let's take a look at the Go Compare. As you know, I always do a Go Compare as far as records go, in order to compare campaigns to previous campaigns, I guess you could say, and determine whether or not we're actually getting value for money, I guess you could say, and if they have made any changes. So, as you can see, I've got October 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022 highlighted, so you can compare the individual patches, but also right down the bottom we have the averages for this time from which records exist. So as you can see, the amount of rewards that you're receiving without amity backing is actually below average. However, in comparison to previous Octobers, it is second best, I guess you could say. In regards to total value with amity backing, you are getting an above average amount, and it is actually the highest amount for an October based on previous records. The difference is 58,000, and that is above average. So they really the distance between with and without is larger than has been previous as well, I guess you would say. And the percentage of the rewards that you'll be getting without amity backing is limited down to only 20%. This is actually quite low, but it's not the lowest, as you can see in October 2021. So it's all right, maybe. It's all. Let's look at the graph. So here we go. Here we got the graph. Let's make the logos disappear very briefly. So the blue line at the bottom is the amount that you'll be getting without amity backing. The orange line at the top is the amount that you'll be getting with amity backing, and the grey line is the amount that you'll be basically the difference in value, I guess you could say. So as you can kind of see, I would say potentially things are on the rise. The amount of value of the balloon, it kind of looks like it has a bit of an upward trend, I guess you could say, towards the tail end of that, especially with the orange line and the grey line, with the blue line staying pretty consistent, I guess you could say, give or take. Anyway, one thing I also do is I like to keep a track on the rewards that we'll be getting. The moderators did select a couple of items which would be of interest. Basically some low quality items that we're obviously usually given away for free, and some high quality items. So we've been keeping track of booster flags, insignias, commander XP, commendations, and days premium, and basically recording how much you'll get with and how much you'll get without amity backing, obviously since records began all the way back in October. Obviously I haven't got the dates there because this is a continuation of that other chart. So when you're looking back, I mean, the amount of booster flags you're getting, it doesn't differ too much from last year. There's maybe a bit of a difference from 2020, but back in 2019 you got a lot more booster flags with amity backing. The amount of insignias, obviously you can see the trend is about 1.4, 1.5, give or take. Obviously every now and then we get some more, and what we get in this patch doesn't really seem to stand out in any real way. Amount of Commander XP is quite an interesting one. We're getting 420,000 Commander XP with amity backing, which is quite a chunky amount. There's a little bit more than the last patch. But the interesting thing I think is worth noting is the amount of Commander XP that you'll be getting without amity backing is 145,000. Which is actually quite a significant drop since the previous patch, and is the lowest amount since October 2019. So that is one thing to note, I guess you could say. Accommodations, we're getting 1.4, which is quite reasonable, especially in late, as you can see, going all the way back to almost December. Actually, probably January. And regarding premium days, you can unlock all the days premium available in the campaign without amity backing. So you'll be able to unlock 8 days, and this is quite a consistent value of what we've had previously. Anyway, that is the Go Compare. So that's the records done. Let's see if we can just quickly catch up with the chat. Azuma, I'm imagining Kronstadt will be a worse mix of Stalingrad and Riga. I'd have to agree with you there. And Crib also agrees. Yep, basically it is a mix and match from both tiers. Sean, but in Russia, this is the best ship in Legends. That is what it is said on the in on Russian internet. No bias, yeah, apparently, no bias. Sean Petropavlovsk, maybe. Sean, my new name. Who you nick as Shipakov? Aaron Griff, the missing Commander XP is now changed to research points for Bureau, and that's another one we can include in the charts now. That is very true, very true. I might have to actually add that as a trackable commodity as part of the campaign. Well, that's the hot chocolate finished. I'll just cleanse my palate because obviously you always get the thick gunk at the bottom of the hot chocolate. A Cadbury's one anyway. Right, there we go. Let's crack on with the German alternative battleships, which are now fully researchable. I guess obviously they're going to shout about the top one, which is obviously the Tier 8 Prince of Ruprecht. Yeah, so obviously there's not really too much to talk about here. We've been able to view the stats for a whole patch. It's here, and also now the entire tech tree is researchable all the way up. So yeah, grind to your heart's content, I guess. If you haven't been able to have any luck with the early access crates, which I wouldn't be surprised at because the drop ratios are really low and the number of crates is really low. So unless you threw doubloons and credits at it, not many people are going to have a lot of these ships, I guess you could say. Now, time for the majors to butcher up another name. Borogoni? Bragoni? Let's go for Bragoni. We butcher them enough anyway. Let's see. Peter Jones, I'm taking a break until we get anything good. Wouldn't blame you. At the moment, I'm just enjoying playing with some of my usual favourite ships. I think there's obviously there are some ships this patch which do interest me, and I will be very interested. But yeah, I don't care for the campaign ship. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care for this Bureau ship. I'm gonna be honest. It's basically just a legendary tier Jean Bar with a turret on the back. Good, lovely. It's French. It does what French things do. This is the thing, like, because all the ships are a bit samey with the French. It's kind of one of those things like, if you don't like the playstyle, you don't like any of them. Zuma, R.I.P. French people watching this. To be honest, I don't think the French like my channel. I don't think I've got any French watchers. Burgoni. We'll go for Burgoni. I'm going to butcher it as a French burger. Anyway, so they talk about this. So let's see. First of all, new project is coming. Yay! This one is simply available for everyone. So basically, it's another legendary tier ship for free in the Bureau. All you have to do is log in daily and do bits and bobs, I guess you could say. Complete it to obtain the French legendary tier battleship Bragoni. That one. It comes with a main battery reload booster, as well as access to the engine boost consumable, which can be replaced with the enhanced secondary battery targeting if you so wish. She's she's fast, maximum speed of 32 knots. She has a powerful anti-aircraft defense. So let's jump into. Oh, sorry, I love that. Andy Mac, what's the reverse speed? I want to say 21 knots in reverse. Right, let's have a look at the burger and have a look at what her capabilities are. So first of all, she has 3 quintuplet 380mm guns. So obviously she's got AB turrets up front and Y turrets at the rear. Let's move on to the pros. She's probably going to have excellent range for her tier. Fair enough. Over on PC, she has a 28-second base reload for her main battery. And obviously she has the main battery reload booster, which will probably reduce that reload by 50% for a duration, I guess you could say. Looks like she has very good secondary range over on PC, but it's interesting to note that that is not mentioned in the patch notes for World Warships Legends. So it's potential that maybe her secondary battery has been not reflected as over, I guess you say. She also has a large secondary battery of 8 dual-barreled 127mm turrets and 3 triple-barreled 152mm turrets. So yeah, okay, quite reasonable secondary battery capability with some 6-inch guns there at least. She has a strong AA suite and is an improvement over the Republic, which obviously we have received at Tier 8. Now, this is obviously thanks to the addition of short-range mounts. Obviously, she has a lot more close-in anti-aircraft capability as well. She has good concealment over on PC, and she has the second, obviously she's the second fastest ship over on PC. She's capable over on PC of reaching a top speed of 42.5 knots forwards. I can't comment on her maximum speed backwards. She has an above average rudder shift speed as well, so basically she has quite a nippy rudder, which could be quite interesting. However, she has the second smallest health pool for her tier over on PC. Her armour is susceptible to high explosive penetrations as well as overmatch from very large caliber guns. Furthermore, she has small caliber guns. She's only got 380mm, so she can find it difficult to basically hurt enemy ships at times. She also has a mediocre dispersion. We're not sure what her sigma is going to be over here on Legends, I should say, but her sigma over on PC is 1.8, which means that her main batteries has an inconsistent performance. She also has a poor performance of secondary battery due to low penetration and accuracy. Furthermore, she has a very large turning circle of 910 meters. So that's what the ship is like over on PC. All in all, I wouldn't exactly say it's my kind of ship. It's it sounds like just another French campaign ship, like we've had before, and it's one of those things where I'll probably play it once or twice and then I'll be done. So, but I mean, it's a free bureau ship, so it'd be pop it in the bureau and just let it tick over without really probably pursuing it, which is what I usually do, I guess you could say. Azuma, I'm calling the burger baguette. Well, we call it baguette and burger, I guess you could say. But listen, if you have a Zerlang Dunkirk, it will be down more. Yeah, you have like the 0.1 second ammunition switch, which is just a ridiculous trait. Sean, the burger baguette. It comes. Oh, there you go. It comes with cheese and wine and sailors if the French fancy taking it to the battle. Anyway, one thing obviously that we continue with down here is that this update features research points as a campaign reward for the first time. These can be used to speed up progress in the same way the breakthrough mechanic works. So I think the research points can only be used for the following bureau projects: Legendary Birthday 2022, Midway, Haruku, and the Burger Baguette. So yeah, it's basically, I don't want to say it, but it almost just feels like a useless resource. So they've taken away Commander XP, they've taken away a useful resource, and they've given us research points, which we can only really use on legendary tier. Why? Why did they do that? Why did they do any of that? What? How many research points are we getting? They better be good. 1,750,000. But I just don't get. So basically, they're acknowledging that the Bureau is too slow at introducing ships to the game. So they're now adding research points into the campaign to speed up bureau projects that they're introducing. Is this their way to try and speed up the introduction of more legendary tier ships from the bureau into the game? But they're monetizing it. That's what they're monetizing the bureau. Because now they're making another thing which will make you want to purchase anti-backing. So, and then they're also going to monetize the ships like they did with the Haruku and the Midway, where you have to spend doubloons in order to unlock the missions. It's just more monetization. I kind of had a bit of hope with this patch, but actually as I'm reading through it, I'm just spotting like another monetization thing. It's like, oh goody, more. That's what we needed. They just can't stop getting their filthy, grubby hands on our wallets, can they? Because this is the thing, if the bureau was taking too long, they just say, well, we're just going to remove a stage off the bureau. You know, just do that. There you go. That solves the bureau. No. We're gonna monetize it. We're gonna put it in as a campaign reward. You filthy beggars. There you go. More monetization. Lovely. Right. Beside the campaign, research points. Oh, they. I didn't even read this bit. Research points can be obtained from selected bundles in store. More monetization. Oh, damn it. And the worst with this, it's almost like they're trying to get people to waste their money in order to try and introduce legendary tier carriers into the game quicker, because they didn't think through, is the best way to put it. Because I doubt, honestly, I wouldn't, if you do get amateur backing, you know, fair enough. Quite a lot of people get amateur backing, and you're going to get 1,750,000 research points. Fair enough. What you do, don't spend it until there's actually a legendary tier ship in the bureau which is worth it. So for now, just sit on them. Because at the moment, it doesn't read that there's a cap on how many research points you can use on a single project. Fingers crossed that if there isn't a cap, I sit on it and wait until there's an actual legendary tier ship introduced into the bureau which you actually want and is actually worthwhile, and then spend them. And whatever you do, I would seriously recommend avoid this. Don't buy bundles for the research points. Just don't. It's especially if this is what you're going after. Either you must really love carriers or really love French battleships, and I am not. But there you go. Okay, so that's my advice. But you know, it's your money. Do what you want with it. I can only say my opinion. Right, Ark Royal. On to some good news. Some lovely, glorious news. We are finally getting the Ark Royal, and yeah. I mean, to be honest, this is it. I actually just called this the Ark Royal Patchnotes review because this is what I'm here for. I may not be a carrier main, but I certainly do enjoy playing a carrier every now and then. And the Ark Royal is a beautiful, beautiful carrier. Anyway, over to World of Warships PC stats, where we'll be taking a quick look at the pros and cons of the Ark Royal. So pros. Torpedo bombers drop 3 torpedoes per attack. Aim quickly and have a converging drop pattern. So basically 3 aircraft. So I think it's already been confirmed that Ark Royal on Legends will have 9 aircraft in the squadron. Attack squadron is expected to be 3 aircraft, each aircraft dropping a single torpedo. The reticle aims very quickly and converges, which is very typical for the British, I guess you say. Carpet bombers drop a large number of bombs per attack run, good starting fires, and crippling destroyers. Now, if we take what we know from the Furious, which has I want to say 6 Barracudas with an attack squadron of 2. We're expecting 9 Swordfish, I guess you could say, with an attack squadron of 3. So the Furious drops 8 bombs. The Ark Royal is going to potentially be dropping 12 bombs, or bomblets, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's quite nice. So it looks like that seems quite reasonable. Other pro, quick aircraft restoration time over on PC. Furthermore, the carpet bombing and the torpedo bombers have very forgiving aiming reticles, and which never widen when engaging in turns. So potentially, fingers crossed, that could be an interesting thing if that comes over onto World of Warships PC. Downsides. The aircraft have poor speed and durability. So basically, although you have more aircraft, they're going to be weaker individually. I mean, you have to remember that the Swordfish is are currently only really available on the Hermes, I believe. So obviously you are going to be playing potentially with tier 3 aircraft on a tier 5 aircraft carrier. Obviously there will be some tweaks here and there in order to bring those aircraft up to scratch. Now, all aircraft also lack agility and a very large turning radius. So if you're used to the way that the Furious drops in, does a drop, aircraft go up, and then you do a 90-degree turn, you do your second run, potentially might not be able to do that with Ark Royal, which means you won't be able to do such quick, continuous attacks, which also means that your aircraft will be probably more susceptible to taking damage as you're taking these large turns to get your multiple attacks off on a single vessel, I guess you could say. And now the HE bombs obviously have poor penetration, but then that's because they're these small bomblets is kind of to be expected. Furthermore, the ship has very poor concealment over on PC, and judging by what we see later on in these patch notes, I guess we can kind of expect that considering the current changes to aircraft carrier detectability. Right, I think we can just admire this for a bit longer, can't we? I'll catch up the chats. Let's see. Chat, I should say. Let's see. Sean, a day's worth. Is that it? Just a day's worth of research points. I was hoping it'd be more than that. Just a day. Oh, damn it. Oh, Griff. That will be the 2.5 stages, 1.7 million. Oh, okay, fair enough. That sounds a bit more. That sounds a bit low. Sean, gonna have to start putting money in my Xbox in a bit to start Legends up. You can always have a coin dispenser on your Xbox to turn it on. if you put the notes in, it loads quicker. Oh god. Listen, honestly, doubt we will be getting any decent projects made. Yeah. No, honestly, I've kind of given up hope with the Bureau. I've given up hope with expecting a decent British destroyer to come to the Bureau. Just give me daring. Just give me daring, please. And Goliath, you know. And Thunderer, God. Zuma, Ark Royal and Perth are two of the most hyped for ships. Yeah, this patch seems to be like the Ark Royal and Perth are definitely the gems of this patch. The rest of the patch can probably rot away as far as probably a lot of people are concerned. Naruko, is it always Naruko? Good to see you. Ark Royal before Enterprise. Wow, I'm stunned. No US perm this update. Premium ship this update. Never thought I was going to see that happen in my lifespan. That's a good point. No, there's no United States premium ship this patch. I'm sure that we are also, but then again, there is a Russian one. You know. They're going to miss out on their key audience, are they? Smith, the Royal Navy CB didn't need a nerf. They have made Dennis Boyd useless with the next update. Yeah, we'll come to that when we get to it. But yeah, Furious has had a crippling change. Naruko, Thunderer can stay the hell on PC and rot there. No. Oh, give me Thunderer. Right, let's see. We also have another French vessel. We have a tier 8. Obviously, tier 7. Correct me. Which is obviously arriving for doubloons. 17,500 of your precious doubloons. And so what can we expect for all of our money? Well, apparently we're going to get a fast turret traverse, above average speed, agility, and moreover a combo of main battery reload booster and engine boost. There are some very compelling reasons to take this ship into battle. Okay, well let's have a look at what she's like over on PC and see whether these compelling reasons still stand. So obviously she has access to the main battery reload booster consumable and also the improved French engine boost consumable. She has good concealment and excellent torpedo arc, so that's kind of understandable, I guess you could say. Downsides. So remember that this ship is not one to be missed out on according to Wargaming, and the downsides are she's fragile, small health pool, and large exposed citadel block. Fairly short main gun range, so she has to be in range of whatever will try to kill her. Furthermore, she has bow and stern armour being incredibly thin and easily overmatched by large caliber guns. Furthermore, she has weak torpedo armament and poor main battery arcs. Yeah, so yeah, when you take those downsides into account, I wouldn't exactly say this is a tier 7 that should not be missed out on, I guess you could say. I think this is potentially a tier 7 to avoid. Basically, it's an agile, weak, short range, potentially always having to go broadside in order to bring all turrets to bear. Cruiser with great torpedo angles and weak torpedoes, yeah. I mean, if she came with radar or something like that, we should made her into like a destroyer hunter, maybe. But it doesn't seem like she's going to get anything like that. And I think Kriv is hitting the nail on the head here. For 17,500 doubloons, why would you pick the Bayard over Plymouth? That is a very, very good point. Let's see, Azuma, my Conqueror has better concealment than the post-nerf Zeppelin, laugh out loud. No, okay. But in all seriousness, I'm hyped for the Ark Royal, Graf Zeppelin flashbacks. Oh no, I'm hyped, no good signs. To be honest, I think Ark Royal should be alright. I think we always knew, this is the thing, personally, I kind of always felt that Graf Zeppelin was going to be a floundering, heaping pile of mess. The reason being is the standout things to shout about the Graf Zeppelin is its great secondary range and things like that. And that's something that really gets nerfed to hell over here on Legends. And furthermore, I don't personally agree that an aircraft carrier should be out brawling. It's just it's a good way to die, I guess you could say. Animac, another nerf. Sean, they need to look at the prices of these ships with doubloons and half it. It's just so greedy. The 17,500s. I mean, considering they standardized tier 6 to 12,500, tier 7 really should be about 15,000. You know, going to 17,500, it's a bit up there. And so it almost means that basically when it comes to tier 7 premium ships, I would not buy. Also, furthermore, please remember that all these premium ships which come in this patch are all subject to change. So please bear that in mind as well, right? So things that are strong potentially can get nerfed. They're allowed to do that. They warn you. So please bear that in mind also. So it means when you purchase probably very, very high tier ships, it's a very large investment for something that might change. For better or for worse. Low tier ships, I think sometimes you can kind of feel a bit justified because you're not spending so much. But the high tier ships, please bear that in mind, please. Right, Perth. So Perth is a Amphion class or a modified Leander class cruiser. She served in the Royal Australian Navy during World War II. Now, Kriv raised an interesting point, saying is Perth simply a Huanghe, but up-tiered? Kind of, but not quite. So Huanghe is a Arefuser class cruiser, which is basically almost like a baby Leander, I guess you could say. Very similar armor scheme, very similar capabilities, but it only had 6 6-inch guns, whereas Leander had 8 6-inch guns, was slightly larger, slightly longer, I guess you could say. Now, the Amphion class is basically, or modified Leander, is basically just a Leander, but they made some changes. Those changes were mostly to do with the engine space. So as you'll note over on the Leander, she has a single funnel, which kind of trunks together. She's got like a nice curvy funnel, I guess you could say. With the Perth, you can see that she has 2 individual funnels. The reason being is that basically it was deemed that it was potential on the Leander class cruisers that if the ship was hit amidships, it would knock out both engines because the engines shared the same engine space. So what they did with Perth, okay, they had to sacrifice a bit of displacement, sacrifice a bit of weight, I guess you could say. They compartmentalized the engine space and basically put in a separation wall. So it means if one engine got knocked out, the other one would keep running. At least that was the intention. And so that's why she has two funnels. The reason why on the Leander class they had a single funnel was the idea was that by only having a single funnel, it would make it slightly more difficult for enemy ships to determine the speed of the vessel or the angle potentially. Whereas I guess when it came to the Amphibian class, they kind of just went, you know, we don't really need to worry about that too much, I guess you could say. The disclaimer is valid on all premium ships. Look at Italian cruisers. Other way around, Huanghe is a HMS. Huanghe is HMS Aurora. HMS Aurora is an Arrofuser class cruiser. So yeah, we're alright. We're alright. Fingers crossed, I got everything correct there. But that is me just almost skimming off the top of my head. Anyway, let's have a look at the pros and the cons of the Perth over on PC, and to give us an idea of what we can expect over here on World of Warships Legends. So the pros, she has basically a very small detectability for her tier. So that's quite nice, I guess you say. She also has a crawling smoke screen. So if you're familiar with the Huanghe, it has a smoke screen consumable which will crawl along at a maximum of 1/4 the speed of the cruiser. So please bear that in mind. It's not an Italian kind of exhaust smoke screen where you can cruise along at full speed with smoke covering you. It is a crawling smoke screen, so it obviously progresses a lot slower. So obviously you'll need to slow down to at least quarter speed before you probably hit your smoke generator, or probably as you're slowing down to quarter speed in order to then stay in your smoke screen as you slowly crawl along. Now she has access to, over on PC, she has access to high explosive rounds, which obviously gives her some flexibility when engaging angled targets and destroyers. She also has good handling characteristics over on PC, which she has a short rudder shift time and a reasonably tight turning circle, which is kind of expected because the Leander class cruisers has quite a short turning circle as well. Furthermore, apparently over on PC she can equip either spotter aircraft or catapult aircraft. That is an element that I'm not exactly too sure of over here, because obviously we don't have any comments in regard to aircraft. So I suspect over here on Legends, she'll only come with a catapult fighter. Now, obviously, she has the smoke. Nothing really much more to add there. Downsides, obviously, she has a low health pool. Over on PC, she has a health pool of 27,100, which means obviously she can be a little bit on the weaker side, I guess you could say. Her bow and stern arm obviously can be overmatched by 283mm armor-piercing shells, very much like her sister ship Leander, I guess you could say. A shortest main battery range for her tier as well, and also she has a very bad anti-aircraft suite and cannot, over on PC, she cannot equip defensive air fire. Potentially, you never know, over here on Legends that might be different. Obviously, the joys of PC and Legends is that some of the ships are always subject to change and how they get transferred over. So, there's not really too much more to add in regards to the Perth over on PC. So I think it's going to be an interesting one to wait and see how she turns out over here on World of Warships Legends, I guess you say. I'm hoping that she's actually a nice ship. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I do have a bit of a soft spot for this. I think I have HMAS Sydney in my Victory at Sea collection. So yeah, I have got one of these in my little collection. I do need to get back into Victory at Sea miniatures. Azuma says Perth had two sister ships, Sydney and Hobart, and Sydney went down with all hands after engaging a German raider, I guess you could say. I think, have I got my books? Yeah, give me a second. Let's see, I want cruisers. That's battleships. Is that battleships? Yeah, that was battleships. That's destroyers. Let me just grab cruisers. There we go. To be honest, some new Allied or Commonwealth and British ships have come to the game, which does mean I can potentially have another one of my short videos in regard to the historical accuracy of the ship. Now the Australians actually had light and heavy cruisers in their navy during World War II. They had some of the county class cruisers, and honestly I'm kind of surprised that Wargaming hasn't done a Commonwealth county class for the Australians. Right, there's the heavy cruisers. Let's see, that's the Leanders. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we have Hobart. Let's see, she's Hobart survived the war. Yeah, Hobart survived. Yep, she survived. Very nice, very nice, very nice. She actually returns. She returns to the Royal Navy, I believe. No, she doesn't. Hobart survives the Lloyd. Okay. Perth is actually the name ship for the class, HMS Amphion, I guess you could say. Perth. Ooh, that's okay. Interestingly, don't know how this is going to turn out, but the camouflage that she's in game looks very close to that one. So that looks quite reasonable, actually. Looks like they have put some effort into the camouflage. It's a shame. Personally, I would have gone for the American style camouflage on Perth with the dark blue, because basically to avoid friendly fire, the Australians painted their vessels in American camouflage scheme, which is quite interesting. And let's see, Perth is last in 1942 March. Let's see, she survived the Battle of the Java Sea. She was sunk on the 1st of March in an unequal battle. It seems unlikely there would have been time to paint the ship furthermore. Okay, so she was sunk 1st of March 1942. I think the only thing about the blue is they're not completely sure whether she actually was painted in that blue. But I would have liked to think maybe she was. And that would have made a very interesting colour scheme. But yeah, that's quite interesting. And obviously we have Sydney, which was... I can't remember the name of the German ship she was sunk by. It's... the Cormoran. Yeah, she was sunk by the Cormoran off the coast of Western Australia. Right, I'll put the lovely book away. Right. Zuma, something interesting is that Leander is technically our first Commonwealth ship, ship course in World War II, because she lent to the Royal Navy, New Zealand Navy, by the Royal Navy. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't know if you've seen the 1 minute shorts that I did, but what the Leander we have in game, once you equip the hull modernised, it's actually HMS Ajax, which is or Ajax. So that's which was New Zealand's crew on a Royal Navy ship. So yeah, that's an interesting one. So when you're sailing Leander in game, it's actually HMS Ajax, which is quite interesting. Andy Mack watched a documentary on HMAS Sydney sinking. Yeah, no, it's a very mysterious one, I guess you could say. Yeah, disguised as a Dutch ship. So we really need a proper tech tree for CVs. It would be interesting if they did do a carrier every tier. It would add some very interesting diversity. Zuma Sydney went down after the battle with the German raider Cormoran in the Indian Ocean. There. Right. That's the Perth. So what's next? We have the Karachi, I believe. But yes, my pronunciation is not going to be... Now, interestingly, she's tier 3 over on PC. So she's actually been up tiered, because if we went tier for tier, she should be a tier 2 on Legends, but she's actually been made tier 3. So this potentially could be an interesting one, because it's a very similar situation, I guess you could say, to the Dreadnought. So it'd be interesting to see how this goes, because if this ship works, I guess you could say, potentially this could mean that the Dreadnought could make an appearance as a tier 3 premium ship. So that's why I'm not particularly interested in this ship, but I'm interested in what they're doing with this ship, I guess you could say. Anyway, as they talk, she's obviously a Imperial Japanese Navy dreadnought. She boasts a thick armored belt and 6 turrets, basically, yep, two wings on either side, and then 4 and aft. Basically, almost like a Japanese Nauser, I guess you could say. Each complete with 2 12-inch guns. She's anything but fast. Okay, slow. She's going to be slow. But the sheer number of guns let her display her strength in situations where torpedoes are not prevalent. It's a Japanese Nauser. It feels like it's a Japanese Nauser, but no secondary is slightly more accurate. It'd be interesting to see what she gets. Question looks like if Izuchi and Nauser had a baby. There you go. Yeah, it would be interesting to see a bit of an expansion on the Royal Navy aircraft carriers, because we had so many. It'd be interesting if they did like alternative architecture, honestly. Anyway, onto the Karachi. Let's have a look at her pros and cons over on PC. So, pros, she has a large number of main battery guns with turrets on both sides. She can be quite flexible in manoeuvring while firing. She has a low section range and a very tight turn circle. She has somewhat effective secondaries compared to South Carolina, they say, giving her a better chance of taking on destroyers. She has good turret traverse, powerful high explosive main battery shells, and a decent rudder shift for a battleship. Downsides: bad mobility. Her speed, though appreciatively better than American tier counterpart, they're referencing South Carolina here, makes getting anywhere a slow process. She has ineffective turret placement. The way her turrets are arranged means that at least 2 guns will be massed when aiming and firing. 2 turrets is what they mean there, sorry. Difficult gun characteristics. Her guns have low range, slow reload, and very large dispersion. Furthermore, she has a poor anti-aircraft armament, almost no anti-aircraft capability, though not as important. Well, they say it's not so important. That's on PC, where she's actually a tier lower than she's going to be on Legends. So it's actually going to be important. So yeah, she's got no AA. She's going to be carrier food at tier 3, and there's always a carrier at tier 3 because it's the first tier that you get carriers, and people grind them quite often. In all, she can be frustrating for inexperienced players as they grind through. Shortest gun range for her tier, relatively high citadel, making it risky to fire a full volley. By full volley, they mean going totally broadside and bringing 4 turrets to bear on the enemy. Unlike the Nauser, upon whose design is based, Karachi's echelon touch turrets do not converge on the target when facing the enemy bow on. So basically, her wing turrets don't turn in to converge. Unlike Nauser, upon the design it is based. Okay, so yeah, this literally is a Japanese Nauser, but worse. And she is the ultimate reward for the hard mode for the Halloween event. Ugh. Doesn't sound like she's worth it, in all honesty. So I really think the Halloween mode is going to be all about the Perth. For a lot of people, it's going to be all about the Perth. HMS Unicorn and Lusty needed, yeah. Unicorn would be interesting, actually, yeah. Zoom with Ark Royal coming, which means Indomitable is for sure coming down the line. Very nice, yes. Although Melissa is not holding her breath, to be honest. Fair enough. Right, we have a bit of injury. We have a new commander coming to the game, and I've already forgot how to pronounce his name, and someone's going to persecute me. Because I know I actually do have Australians watching. So I better... someone said it nicely. Oh no, I'm going to mess his name up now. Oh, someone... Okay, I'm just gonna have to. Thank you, Zuma. Thank you. Yeah. So we have Harold B. Farkham. Yeah, Farkham. He's got some interesting traits, and it's definitely designed around the Perth, I guess you could say. So a new commander, basically designed around it. Base trait decreases both detectability range and time that your ship is detectable when firing from smoke by up to 10%. Not as good as a Zerlang Belfast. Zerlang Belfast reduces the range of your detectability when firing smoke by 20%, whereas Farcum reduces your detectability when firing smoke by range by 10% and time by 10%. So I think that's if you do get detected, it's 10% quicker. Now that's 10% on, is it 20 seconds? No, it's 10% on 10 seconds. Or is it 50? I think it might be 20. It's only 2 seconds. That's not exactly that impressive. Oh, Criff, he doesn't have the binoculars with the arrows. No, he doesn't. And honestly, I don't want to speak ill of the chap, but he doesn't look impressed. Is the best way to put it. Yeah. He doesn't look impressed. But I won't go on about that. That's the smoke firing trait, isn't it? Beyond range. Yay. Oh, there's a smoke trait here. Which one's that? Is that the one that Zerlang Belfast has? Wait, let me have a look. That could be interesting. That could be very interesting. Give me a second. I just got to scroll through the commander. Come on. Yeah, it is. That's smokescreen. That's the same trait as Zerlang Belfast, which reduces your smokescreen radius by... No, increases your smokescreen radius by 20%. Reduces the detectability after firing the main battery from a smokescreen by 16%, and reduces the number of smoke-generated charges by 1. So that's interesting. They've brought... Or is it? No, it's a slightly different symbol. It's an ever so slightly different symbol. A Zerlang Belfast symbol. I can just drag this here. It's got like a... It's got a double arrow on it. Whereas his doesn't have a double arrow on it. So I assume that this trait is going to be similar to this trait, but maybe slightly less effective. Anyway, let's take this lady off screen. I don't want you chaps getting too excited. Right. So, yeah, okay, that one could be interesting. Let's see. Unique skill, which is this one here, the shell from the Ghost. Increase both main battery range and shell grouping when firing in smoke by up to 4%. So it looks like you're going to have one trait which is going to improve your smoke screen, or you can have a trait which improve your fight gun capabilities when in smoke, potentially. The commander will be available as part of the Perth bundle obtained for ancient shards in the Halloween selection. So it looks like Perth is only going to be available for ancient shards, but whether you can buy ancient shards with doubloons and therefore in turn buy Perth is obviously yet to be commented on, I guess you say. Zuma, Falcon would be amazing for any smokes cruiser. Could be a deadly inspiration on a Kutsov. Yeah, potentially, maybe pairing him and Zerling Belfast as inspirations on a Kutsov. That would probably help the survivability of a Kutsov quite a bit, I guess you'd say. Apart from that, I don't really think there's anything else really special or slightly different or interesting there. So, on to the balance changes that we are experiencing this patch, I guess you could say. Obviously, they say there are some blanket changes for carrier squadrons and carrier visibilities, with squadrons receiving more HP and the visibility parameters, yeah, basically the concealment of carriers. So almost the summary of this is they're pushing the detectability of aircraft carriers out in order to obviously reduce their survivability in the late game and make them easier to find. And in turn, they're increasing the HP of the aircraft potentially to increase, obviously, maybe the amount of damage that you might be able to get at your squadrons. But furthermore, now your planes have to fly further, which I think is another thing that maybe people will have to take into account. Anyway, these changes are pretty widespread. So we'll go through them. So Langley, obviously, sea detectability is being nerfed by 100 meters, and detectability by air is being nerfed by 100 meters, and the HP of the bombers are both being improved. Well, that's been improved by 100. That's been improved by 90. Ranger, a whole kilometer for sea detectability, basically nerf, and a 0.7 kilometer or 700 meter detectability by air. Furthermore, the aircraft are receiving a 50 stock dive bombers 50 HP. Stock torpedo bombers is about 70 HP. 50 HP for the upgraded dive bombers and 75 HP for the upgraded torpedo bombers. Independence, only detectability, and actually the detectability being buffed. So it's ironic, we get to our first premium carrier and it's getting buffed. So basically the detectability by sea is being reduced by 1.2 kilometers, and detectability by air is being reduced by quite a bit, 2.2 kilometers. Lexington Tier 7, detectability by sea is being increased by 1.2 kilometers, and detectability by air is being increased by 0.8. Yes, yeah, 0.8. And then HP increases on aircraft, 50 HP points there, 50 HP points there, 140 HP points there, and a 250 HP points there. Saipan, okay, premium aircraft carrier being nerfed. Surface detectability range changed from 12.6 to 13.8. That's an increase of 1.2 kilometers, and their detectability changed from 10 to 9.6. So basically, making them slightly more hidden to aircraft, but slightly more detectable to ships. Legendary tier Midway, she hasn't even been properly played because she's still probably in a lot of people's bureaus, and she's already receiving a buff, which is a bit odd. So yeah. Anyway, sea detectability is being reduced by 1.1 kilometers, and detectability range by air is being reduced by 2.4 kilometers. Japan. So, all right, we've got quite a few to get through here. Hi, show. 0.1 kilometer, 0.1 kilometer, very similar to the Langley. 100 HP and 80 HP for the aircraft. Yeah, it's not massive changes. But things obviously get worse as tiers go up. Detectability of the Rugio is being increased by 1 kilometer by sea and 0.7 kilometers by air. Aircraft are receiving 50 more HP and 100 more HP as stock, and the upgrade aircraft are receiving another 50 and another 100. Yeah, 50 and 100, yeah. So the torpedo bombers get 100, these dive bombers are getting 50. Zoiho, premium aircraft carrier, being nerfed. Detectability by sea increased by 1 kilometer. Detectability by air increased by 0.7 kilometers. HP of the dive bombers being increased by 335. Torpedo bomber HP is being increased by 75. Quite a hefty increase on the HP of the dive bombers there. Shikoku. Surface detectability being increased by 1.7 kilometers, and detectability by air being increased by 1.1 kilometers. Stock dive bomber HP being increased by 50. Stock torpedo bomber HP being increased by 125. Upgraded dive bombers have their HP increased by 150, and the torpedo bombers upgraded as their HP increased by only 80 HP, I believe. Cargo, the premium tier 7 is getting a nerf. Sea detectability being increased by 1.2 kilometers, but air detectability being reduced by 0.4 kilometers. And the legendary tier Hakuru being buffed, with a detectability by sea being reduced by 1.1 kilometers, and detectability by air being reduced by 2.3. Now, this is potentially what I'm more intrigued. Cheerio, Zero, cheerio. Hermes. Surface detectability increased by 100 meters, detectability by air increased by 100 meters, HP increased by 100 on the aircraft. Furious gets a hell of a nerf. It's almost like they're almost taking Boyd's abilities into account potentially. With the detectability by sea being increased by 2.8 kilometers and detectability by air being increased by 1.2 kilometers. The stock dive bomber HP is being increased by 200, and same with the torpedo aircraft, and the upgraded dive bombers have the HP increased by 200, and same with the torpedo aircraft. And the implacable is sea detectability being increased by 1.3 kilometers, and detectability by air being increased by 800 meters. HP of the aircraft being increased, stock aircraft dive bombers by 100, stock aircraft torpedo bombers being increased by 130, upgraded dive bombers increased by 100, and upgraded torpedo bombers increased by 140. On to the Germans. We have, for the Rhine, the surface detectability increased by only 100 meters. And the detectability by sea air, 100 meters, HP increased by 90 and 80, I believe. Visor, let's see. 1 kilometer increased by sea, 0.7 by air. HP increase, 100 for the stock dive bombers, 75 for the torpedo bombers. Upgraded dive bombers increased by 100, upgraded torpedo bombers by 80. Yes. Almost impossible. Sea detectability is basically going from 12, increased by 1.2. Air detectability increased by... my brain's starting to get frazzled now, going through these numbers. 0.8 kilometers. Stock torpedo dive bomber HP being increased by 130. Stock torpedo aircraft HP being increased by 220. Dive bomber upgraded HP going up by 100, and upgraded torpedo bombers increased by 230. Graf Zeppelin. It's getting nerfed. Sea detectability going up by 2.2 kilometers, and air detectability going up by 1.5 kilometers. HP of the dive bombers is going up by 160, and the HP of the torpedo aircraft is going up by 230. Now, I think it's something that another CC said, but I think it's quite an interesting one. The Russians have gone from probably having the worst detectability of the tier to having the best, and the British have gone from having the best to potentially, especially the Furious, having the worst, which is like almost like really switching it around, and it's a bit cruel when you consider how much of a cancer the Russian aircraft carriers are. Do we call these Russian barriers? I don't know. Hello, Blaze. Hello. Just see if I can catch up. Hello, Sax as well. Hello. Animac, yeah, you will have to buy shards. It's World of Warships Legends. Very true. Yeah. CVs are easy to sync. Just don't help your CV player. Yeah, no, that's very true. Against it. Vaz, this is just an excuse to buff Russian CVs. I go find an excuse for us to buff Russian plane carrier ships. Yes, comrade. I got a superstructure. I got it superstructures. More bias. Oh, so Melissa beat me to it in the chat. Sean, you can only have the buffs for your ship if you pay 1,000 doubloons per ship. Only 500 gold for a nerf. Furious didn't need to be nerfed. Furious was strong. The nerf is a bit of an irritance. But they're not nerfing the reason why she's strong, which seems really odd. So now most of the CVs will be at the map border. Yeah, almost. They're almost pushing carriers to the map border. These text-ability nerfs feel like Wargame wants to take out CVs from the battles. They will be at the borders, but the airplane speeds are the same, so they will have to carry out less attacks. Yeah, no, that's they're carrying out less attacks. But also, they've increased the HP, so they'll be losing less aircraft. Yeah, we do it. Soviet bias. But this is encouraging for all CV players to solely play Russian CVs. They are already the best choice. It's a no-brainer now. Yeah, I know. Talking of Russian CVs, let's have a look. Oh, look. A buff for the surface detectability range with a reduction of 1.2 kilometers by sea and a reduction of 2 kilometers by air. But wait, there's more. With another buff, reducing the detectability of the tier 5 by 1.2 kilometers by sea and quite a considerable amount by air. 2.3 kilometers by air. But wait, there's more. Another buff. With the surface detectability of the tier 7 being reduced by 2.1 kilometers. And the reduced detectability by air being reduced by 2.3. Why? Like, just because they had stumpy superstructures. Like, of course, balance. Alright, anyway, obviously there's some other changes with some, obviously, changes to Talon and Brutesy probably being most intriguing. Fiji is strong, but this is 0.5 second reloads nerf. Like, I confess Fiji was strong, but she's also really fragile, and if you don't play her right, she goes pop so easily. So I don't really know why this is called for. Maybe. So yeah, I don't completely agree that's necessary. Talon is getting proper nerfed. Main battery reload being increased by 1 second for stock and by 1 second for upgraded. Maximum AP shell damage being reduced by 250 as well. Stock hull armor is now the same as upgraded hull armor. Is that a buff or a nerf? I don't really know. I don't really look into that. Oh, my mouse is gone. Oh, it's back. Okay. Premium Cruiser Duku Diosta is getting a main battery reload decrease. That's a bit cruel. Brutes is getting a buff. AP shell damage is going up by 300 and HE shell damage is going up by 200 damage. The chance of setting a fire has gone from 7 to 10%. The reason being why we're seeing buffs to the HE shells, I guess you say on Brutes, is to just make the high explosive shells a competitive alternative to semi-armor piercing shells. At the moment, choosing semi-armor piercing shells on the Brutesy is a no-brainer. So this kind of change, and I'm hoping maybe it makes it a bit more of an and an R, I guess you could say. Blaze Tricks, I took another break from this game. This next update better be good. I missed the old days of the game. They've ruined the fun. I think legendary carriers and OP cruisers ruined the game. Yeah, but basically, nowadays, if you want to have fun, I find you have to play like tier 5 and tier 6. But yeah, as Crib says, Blaze, this one will not be better either. And Blaze says it's sad when you think about it, what is has become, but oh well. Yeah. It's the thing. I don't play the game now for the new ships sometimes. Obviously, things like Ark Royal, you know, I'm gonna have a go at. But generally, I play this game for the old ships. and the middle tiers mostly. I don't know if there's something I would like to share. I might have to just blur the names out on it because obviously I haven't asked for permission to. I haven't asked for permission to share this, so I'll just quickly make sure I blur the names out. Let's see. Solid fill. Black. Give me a second and let me just quickly go through this. Shouldn't take me too long. I do apologise. I've got to blur out 18 names quickly. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, there you go. This is the quality of the gameplay that we can expect at the moment. You can see it's yeah, playing tier 8's really fun. Like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm missing out at the moment. I'm sure we all look forward to playing tier 8 at the moment. What a joyous moment this game has got to. Right, let's take that away. We don't want to be looking at that. Same countries over and again. Yeah. Vaz, no news in the mobile version. Hopefully they cancelled it. Major channel is the most World of Warships content I've consumed in months. It's sad to see this game is so much trash. Money is a way to put it. 9v9 battleships, what a joke. Yeah. I've started to notice there's a severe lack of cruisers and decent destroyer players again at the moment. Okay, if that's not good news, Malaysia release was a bad idea. I think it's Philippines, wasn't it? That hit the bed for hackers, and the Android version, APAC, can be altered easily. Blastrix agreed to that. Right. Cross-platform stuff. Fixes. Bug fixes. We have a title called cross-platform, and then we have something about engines. I think they got that title wrong. Anyway, some ships of the engine settings for ships were incorrect, hindering them more than intended in active flooding. Ships typically get a 20% penalty to their maximum speed whenever there's an instance of flooding, but a number of them were penalised 50%. Only a few ships now retain the 50% penalty, which is quite interesting. And it's amusing the number of what the ships are on this game. In fact, I probably want to screenshot that and probably stick it into my Discord for future reference. Because I think that'd be useful. Because I think this is the list that is going to be worth having. So I'm just going to quickly chuck that into my Discord. I'll just chuck it in here. But yeah, it's interesting when you look at these ships. What ships are there? The Z-35, a very strong tier 6 destroyer. Paolo Emilio, okay, she's a one-trick pony, but when she does that trick, she does it very well. Stalingrad, I don't see too many of those, but probably potentially quite a strong cruiser. If there were actually other cruisers being played, which is always another question. Lenin. Quite a strong battleship. I mean, it's only come out once, and that was through Christmas event. Weimar was a very strong tier 6 cruiser. A not so strong tier 7 cruiser, but honestly, considering the mains the mains will never come back in the form that she is now. and potentially if the mains does come back, it's be a nerfed version. Potentially the Weimar will be slightly better than the new mains, so potentially quite a strong tier 7 cruiser maybe. Kleber used to be quite a strong legendary tier destroyer until she got nerfed into the ground. Jean Bar, a very strong tier 7 battleship, and California, another very strong ship. Yeah, so these are all actually very, very good ships, which have this additional penalty that I don't really recall ever being aware of previously. So obviously it's nice to have an official list, but what the hell was the list before? I like this little list of ships that's getting more affected by flooding. It gives you an insight as to which ships they internally think are OP. But furthermore, they obviously confirmed that the list was actually larger, which is interesting. Okay, good to know that flooding speed reduction is different for ships. They never mentioned this, basically a bug fix on the unknown information. Yes. Blaze, they have lost the plot exactly. It's all because their greed, I thought they cared, but nowadays it's all about money and everything's not caring about people. I'd honestly have to agree with you on that, because it does almost feel like every time we have a new patch, there's another way to monetize the game. Another way to get that little bit more out of players. It feels like we're in a bit of a monetization fest. Console, obviously they've changed the sunk by SAP. Block players can no longer receive invitations from people they blocked. Rare case of damage to control party not extinguishing the fire in combination with particular command skills. Ooh. Vivis Unitas page showed a colour inverted camouflage. USS Independence was missing AA information. Rare case of bomb drops significantly missing the target area due to desynchronization. Mobile, rare crashes on lower account levels. Some text UIs made more better. Other logo update, a small but a significant change. It now looks better. Is that the new logo? Okay. Oh, is this on the would it be on the contributors, content communities, media kit? Icons. Would it be icons? Icons. Logo types. Logo types? I'm just trying to work out if how much the logo has changed. I might have a copy of the logo in my files. Be channel admin. No, I don't really see. It looks the same to me. Maybe it's ever so slight, like really minor changes, but I don't really, unless they haven't implemented it yet. To be honest, I guess it comes with a new patch, so maybe there isn't a logo to compare it to. Maybe it is obviously forthcoming with the new patch. Maybe I'm just being a bit of an idiot. And camera rework. Fix the problem with torpedo prediction. Change direction after switching from high to low position. Atlanta. This obviously affected a few ships. Atlanta B, Flint, Minotaur, Plymouth, Prince Heinrich, Admiral Makarov, Toronto. Okay, alright, fair enough. Fix the problem that caused camera to pass through a ship's hull after they had sunk for big ships. Oh. Artillery camera is now a little closer to the following ships: Fiji, Danae, Leander, and Edinburgh. Basically, pretty much the entire British light cruiser tech tree apart from Emerald. Right, that's everything. That's the patch notes. Oh, that was a long one. Right, any questions, any thoughts, anything you want me to have a look into, maybe. If not, we might bring up Crib's clip of the week, and we'll have a watch of that. Maybe enjoy that briefly, which I might do. I might do that now, actually, while I'm letting people. I'll catch up with the chat though very quickly. Let's see. There's so much hidden information in this game that people wonder why players aren't good at the game. It's due to a lack of information. Yeah, lack of information. And also the way that the stuff has to be gained is only information over time. Right, let's turn off the jazz. Let me open up another window. Let's pop that over here. Let's bring up Crib's clip of the week. Of course, I have to then find the channel. Where's the channel? Oh, it's annoying that the channel's not the first thing that pops up, but actually all these CC videos, including my own. Come on. Where's the channel? Ah, okay, that's a link to the channel. Let's pop this over. Let's pop it in here. Let's maximize this. What have I got to do? I've got to unmute the desktop, and I'll make myself disappear. So fingers crossed this comes through okay. So this is I believe Admiral Crow's submission for clip of the week. I'm quite liking this. Turning in all ready to predict any incoming torpedoes, especially from the Meechin. Picking out that juicy citadel. Nice. Taking a bit of a risk there against the Scharnhorst, but I think at this rate it's do or die. Those single launch torpedoes from the British cruisers. Landing exactly where you want them. Yeah, good show, good show. Oh no, we don't want that. Stop this. There we go. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, a very nice submission from Crib, and you got clip of the week there, which is quite nice. There we go. Hopefully, yeah, that's all. The audio is all sorted. Right, let's catch up. I'm Crib. I'm interested in if they really bring us that detailed statistics. So maybe we might have to take a look. Maybe we could take a bit of a detour into the dockyard. Well, not dockyard. The dev blog that we had recently. First, how much did you pay those actors, Crib? Andy Mack, the GTA 6 hacker, would struggle with this game. Fair enough. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a side note, I guess you could say. I better bring myself back. There we go. Yeah, we had this roadmap of sorts, which is quite interesting. So let's just cover this on the side, because obviously this gives us what to expect to be delivered before the end of the year, with this patch delivering nothing. That's included in this dev blog post. That only leaves November and December, 2 more patches after this, for which this possible future content could come to the game. The first one is the ability to choose your port in the background, something that has been very much requested by the player base, something that I look forward to, because then it'd be London time all the time in my port, I guess you could say. Now, I think the interesting one that Crib is obviously talking about is the extended service record, which seems potentially of interest, and obviously is something that has been requested a lot. And we've got some screenshots to see here, so let's take a quick look at some of them. yeah, the logo's alright. And so first of all, we have like the top 5 best ships played, which obviously allows people to work out exactly where they are and the win rates of those ships. It would be interesting if it was. I'm hoping it's expanded, that it's not just your top 5, but it's all of them. You know, that would be a nice one. Furthermore, we have a combat profile. This is basically a, I believe this is just basically a win ratio for the individual classes. Again, I think that's quite interesting because it allows players to see what class are you strong at and what class are you weak at. So, for example, as you can kind of see for this player, they're definitely a cruiser player, a battleship player second, with being a destroyer and a carrier being their weaker suits. Also tells you number of battles played in each ship. Amusingly, I'm surprised that the destroyer is such a poor result for this player. Although obviously it's just a test player, but it is a poor result for this player considering that destroyers have the largest impact on a game's outcome. So therefore, if you're getting a lot of losses while playing a destroyer, you're probably not playing the destroyer properly. And I think that that's a really good telltale thing. I think that that's a stat I'm very intrigued in. Also, obviously, we have the average win rate, number of battles, average damage, average XP, kill death ratio, and that kill death ratio is really bad. We also have a number of ships destroyed. So yeah, this is obviously they really mashed out playing the Tier 1 Japanese cruiser. Oh god. Yeah, this is a really weird account to look at, I guess you're saying. And then obviously it goes on to another page. So it looks like obviously it's going to sit underneath, say, a single tab. So you go to statistics, then underneath that you have a single tab which have random battles, AI battles, and all different mates. And then you use the keypad to look through multiple games, multiple stats. Now at the moment they're only teasing 2 pages, I guess you could say. So they have the top 3 played tiers, which I guess is kind of interesting. Top 3 played nations, okay. You know what mine's going to be. Battle stats. Again, we've only got these kind of details already, I guess you could say. Average battle results is almost duplicating what's on the initial screen. Also, max results per battle. I mean, max results per battle are quite interesting, but I kind of feel like with the introduction of Legendary Tier, it kind of ruins all this, because Legendary Tier is just one of those, especially if you've got the Yamato, it's just very easy to do very well, because the Yamato doesn't really take that much skill to do well in. Just don't angle it, don't stick your cheeks out, and just keep firing 18-inch guns at anything you see, because you'll just overmatch anything. Doesn't matter, just 18-inch AP. Just keep throwing it, and be fine. So Yamato's kind of ruined. I kind of feel ruined these stats because obviously Yamato's gives you the ability sometimes to do very well. Now obviously they do say that this is a prototype, and it, basically they do have a plan for individual ship statistics as well, so potentially there could be a third tab or something a bit more interesting. There's also training rooms. I think this is something that we've really called out about. Now obviously there won't be ability to earn any economy, but I don't think you'll be charged either, and also the records won't be recorded. Basically it just gives people the ability to train. Basically you can practice with friends, you can practice against, say, certain ships, practice certain tactics and strategies and things like that. So I think it's an interesting one. Obviously, they've decided that training rooms is going to take priority over clans at the moment, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing for now. Special modernization, and this is basically like it's basically fancy words in a tiny paragraph that says there's something coming, but they don't really tell us what it is, and therefore it's almost like a null point. It has nothing. I guess we do know one of these points has actually arrived this patch, and that's the Halloween mode. But I almost feel that the Halloween mode goes without saying at the moment, really, and it's not even like this screenshot gives you any ideas, apart from maybe obviously you got the 3 towers to defend. Potential certain abilities and things like that, but you know, Halloween mode's Halloween mode. It's not really too much to talk about. And finally, when it comes to ships, there's some interesting. Basically, they might as well just put new ships. That's it. So honestly, out of this entire dev blog post, this point is just new ships. This point is Halloween mode. This point is special modernization. Like, it means nothing. So the last 3 points mean nothing. Training rooms is very interesting. Port switching is very interesting. Extended service records very interesting. And so I guess we have the 3 big main things to look forward to in November or December. Although obviously, like I said, there's a 95% chance that these may not happen or may not come as scheduled or things like that. I'm not really sure why there's such an accurate percentage. I don't know. Does that even make sense? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. It doesn't even make sense as a percentage point. It just seems far too accurate. Anyway, yeah, so that's just that roadmap thing, which obviously came out quite recently, and I haven't covered in Wales Weekly. Alrighty, let's see. Griff, I know I'm just teasing you, Avril, on accounts of people actually debating it in the comments section. Okay, wait, things have got interesting. Let's have a look. Okay, Vans, it's confirmed by Robin that they are not actors or going to ask the original Xbox copy of the clip for authentication. Fair enough. Blitrix, I want the OG port back and the older commands back. Oh yeah, the old commands, Neptune's beard. Yes, yeah, we could do those back. Yeah, the original port, that was the Philippines, but yeah, fingers crossed with port selectability, that will be, obviously your wish will be your own command, I guess you could say. But okay, now I got to Vaz's point regarding Tees and Griff on account of people actually debating in the comments section. It's crazy how badly people want to believe conspiracy theories. This is the thing, yeah. Vaz, I'm keeping myself away from the comments section. It's worse than the drug addiction, so if I pretend that it's not there, my life quality is much better as well. Fair enough, yeah, no, I do the same. It's accurate percentages because they already decided to leave training rooms out for the year and the rest is already done, just not released. don't Crib. I don't need conspiracy theories. Right, we are approaching the 2-hour mark. Anyone else for anything else? Any questions, any queries, any debates? Professor F8, hello. What are people's ideas on what ships will eventually be in Tier 8 Royal Navy line? Yes. God, I'm going to put a weight on of accepting all these cookies. We can definitely expect Jutland. We can definitely expect Neptune. We could definitely expect Drake. Now, when it comes to battleships, that's quite an interesting one. I think Mecha Man had a very, very interesting comment. So, you know what? I'm going to bring up Lion. Might be seeming interesting. So, Jutland, yep. I think Jutland will be the Tier 8 British destroyer. Basically a battle class destroyer. And I think you can probably expect a typical British destroyer out of it. In all honesty, if you like British destroyers, then you're probably going to enjoy this one. Whether she get repair party would be interesting, I should say. Also, she have acoustics. She'll also, sonar should have short burst smoke screen, and yeah, improved AP pen angles could be quite interesting. No engine boost, that's to be expected. Weak AA, that's to be expected. So I think that's what we can expect for a Tier 8 destroyer for the British. For the cruiser, I think we can expect Neptune, I guess would be the best way to put it. She is, I guess, pretty typical at standing main battery. She has 12 6-inch guns. Also, these guns contribute to anti-aircraft capability, long-range torpedoes. Yep, we can expect that. First-rate anti-aircraft suite, very nice. Specialised repair party, obviously continuation from the Edinburgh, and obviously can equip sonar, radar or smoke. I think we can probably expect that as well. Large detection though, however, very weak armour. I think, yeah, we can expect that. Huge citadel, high arcs, yeah, so much sluggish, you know, like that's really to be expected, I guess you say. Drake, again, another one that I expected. This would be the heavy cruiser if she comes. to World Warships Legends as a tier 8, good concealment, hard-hitting HE, AP shells of high penetration values, and decent AA protection. Main battery range, obviously, potentially leaves something to be desired. Citadel, yeah, poor firing angle, especially with C turrets. C turrets? You mean Y turrets? Now, you can tell that this was written by someone who doesn't use Royal Navy terms. And obviously very long reload. And the reason being is obviously she has 234mm guns, which is 9.2 inch guns, which are equipped on Cheshire. Now, the reason why I brought Lion up, now I know a lot of you are going to say, yeah, but Major, we already have Lion at tier 7. I know. But I almost feel like Wargaming is going to be a bit of a cheapskate, I guess you could say. I think they're just going to take the Lion, they're going to give it another name, and they're going to change the guns. And they're going to change the guns from 406s to probably 490s, maybe. So what would that be? If she was equipped with 490mm. Unfortunately, my brains are starting to get a bit frazzled. No, I don't think 490s. Maybe 425s. Yeah, maybe 425s. Yeah, I'd say 425s, which would be the 16.7. So yeah, she'll probably just get some slightly increased main battery size, I guess you could say. Regarding the name, let's see. Let's have a look at the Lion class battleships. Let's have a look. Let's see. What were the members of the class going to be? Someone else has got a name, feel free to shout it out, but I can't seem to see a list of names of these ships. Oh, this could be interesting. Would they do that? Oh no, I'd hope they wouldn't. Yeah, I think they'd probably go for like 425s or something. That would be my guess. So I think that'll be my tier 8 lineup. Although with the battleship, I'd say it's still a bit in the air. Anyway, let's close that down. Right. Let's see whether we're in the chat. Oh, cheerio, Blaze. Much obliged. Have a good night. Neptune has the Belfast 43 Plymouth Armour scheme on PC, so no more 32mm bow. Yeah, no, fair enough. And that we will call Tamiral. We have Lion Conqueror and Monarch already, so Tamiral left only. Yeah, that might be right there. Righto. I think that is everything. I don't think there's anything more to add. And I do apologise for the state of the office. It's a bit of a mess. And that's probably because I have a quite a large pile of shame when it comes to model kits that I need to crack on with. So I'm looking forward to maybe spending the weekend or the next month just getting some model kits painted and finished off, I guess you say. Well, stay safe, stay well, look after yourselves, and although the next patch may not be the most exciting, there are certainly some elements in it which should be of interest to at least someone, I guess you could say. So, personally, myself, looking forward to Perth, looking forward to Ark Royal, and I think that's really about it. Apart from that, I'll probably just keep dabbling like I have, and avoiding tier 8, I guess, until we actually get some proper tier 8 ships that I actually care about, I guess you say. Alright, have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and a good night wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you tomorrow for Friday night live stream. Until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and back to the port.